How are we doing today?
I'm good. What about yourself? You said you are extremely busy, right?
Well, I mean, life is good. I'm not complaining at all. We just been doing a lot of interviews and just spreading the word about this new album that's going to be coming out November the 10th, and of course the new single that's already out as of this past week.
So let me start with a kind of the obvious question. How did you decide to write and record a new solo album, The Breathing Fire? Breathing Fire.
Excuse me. I got choked on my coffee. I did not plan on doing this album. It was nothing about this album was planned. I was seriously, I went back and just listened to some old records. I happened to be in an AC/DC frame of mind, so I listened to High Voltage twice. Then I listened to Highway to Hell. Then I listened to Back in Black, and then I went to dinner. And I was just that frame of mind, and it had been. I was guilty. I felt really guilty because I had not listened to a full album from front to back in a long time. I don't know. I challenge anybody out there that's listening to us now to go and pull an album out and listen to it from front to back. It's really a great experience that, when we were younger, that was the way you did it, right? Now that you got these things, these phones,
oh, man.
and they take away from you. But to listen to an album from front to back, and it gets you a little closer to the artist. And so I woke up the next day, and I thought, I've got a song in my head. What album is it off of? And I couldn't figure out which album. And I come to find out I was just influenced because I'd been in that frame of mind and I just had some ideas. So I picked up my guitar and I was kind of laying the ideas down again on my cell phone, just recording them on the video function. So I didn't lose them, and because I didn't want to lose the ideas. And the door opens up to my house, and my son, who lives up in Nashville, and Nigel T. Dupree, good looking little fella, he comes walking in the door, and I said, "What are you doing home?" And he goes, "Oh, I just came in to get a free meal." He came to get a free supper, And so I said, "Go lace up the drums." And so we went up in the studio, and I called Roman, who plays bass with JACKYL, and I invited Roman to get over here. And Roman's got his bass around his neck. Nigel's standing there with his sticks in his hands, and they're like, "Okay, now what?" And I started jamming on these songs, and we just had a lot of fun. I mean, it's the way music's supposed to be. It all just happened because the time afforded us, and they were there. And I didn't plan on, if Nigel had not come home, it may not have happened. And or if I hadn't listened to those albums, it may not have happened. Or if Roman hadn't been available, it may not have happened. But everything just kind of came together. And then we got through recording the album or recording the songs. And I listened. I thought, man, this sounds so good, but I don't know if I could do anything with it because it sounds so much like AC/DC, because it was obviously influenced by them. And just out of the blue, just like it was meant to be, I had not spoken to Brian Johnson, the singer of AC/DC, in about 6 months. And the phone rings, and it's Brian. "Hey, Jesse, how you doing, me son?" And so I said, "Hey, I got these songs you got to help me write," because I wasn't going to call you, but since you called me. And he said, "Send them down." So the next thing you know, we're writing together, and we end up with some co-writes with, nobody in AC/DC ever works outside of their band. So it doesn't go past me to realize how fortunate I am to have that friendship with Brian, that he trusts, writing songs with us.
So I was thinking in my mind that Never Gets Old was first, and that triggered you to go ahead and write the rest of the music, but it wasn't.
I literally had we had a whole album's worth of material recorded. And then Brian started throwing stuff in the mix after that. And, so it again, none of it was planned, but it happened. But we had a full album, and it all was recorded. And I mean, it took longer to mix the record than we did record it. I mean, it recorded so fast. And then it didn't take long to mix it because it's 2 guitar, bass, and drums, and just the purest tones and sounds and method of recording that we used.
Again, that is how music is supposed to be, right? Not to go through all the super production, super post-production, or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's, when it happens, I'll just put it this way. There's been songs that I've written in the past that poured out of me, and just from beginning to end, it just wrote itself, and just as long as it took me to pick a guitar up and get it out. And "Down on Me" was one of those songs, the song "Down on Me" on the first JACKYL album. And then there's other songs that that like When Will It Rain, When Will It Rain took a minute, just because I didn't want to force it. It had, I had to kind of be in the right frame of mind, and I just wanted. It was a pretty heavy song for me, and I took the time. I felt like I took the time to give the song its proper breathing room to massage itself out, and then I presented it to the band, and from there. So some songs come easier than others, but sometimes, sometimes working and producing something is worth it. I mean, When Will It Rain turned out to be a very special song. I mean, there's a lot of people that come up, a lot of soldiers that come up and say that song meant something to them when they were in Afghanistan or the Iraq War, and when they were out in the desert, and so that song has a meaning for them that's different than the meaning it was for me. And that's why I don't like when artists get involved in politics, because it polarizes people. I want the music to mean what it means to people. I don't want them to be influenced by what my political beliefs are, or try to cram it down their throat about what it has to mean to them, because of what I was listening.
After all, music is supposed to trigger different emotions for different people. It cannot be the same for everyone. As you said, you cannot give ready the food, like choose the food for them. They have to work that. And again, back to what you said in the beginning, yes, we have to start listening to entire albums. Listening to cherry picking songs is not a good thing to do. It's to me, it's disrespectful to the artist, because you have written so many songs. Why should I pick one or two?
Yeah, I mean, when you listen to them, I mean, because there's a lot of time when an artist finishes making a record, they don't just randomly put the songs on the album. I mean, they spend the time, and sometimes they even argue about what song is
The
first,
sequence, yeah,
and what the sequence is exactly, and so just respectfully to kind of listen to the flow of an album. And there's a song called Stranded that's in the middle of this new album. It's kind of like right in the middle of the playlist, and it just takes you into another play. And there's a whole flow to the album that I like. So I hope that people do, and there's a limited vinyl release that we have on JamesDupree.com, and we're doing a very limited run of vinyl, and you can get a shirt or some vinyl bundles that are offered on the JamesDupree.com website.
So how was it working again with Brian? I think it has to be more than 2 decades that you guys sat down together to write music.
Yeah, I mean, we've always kept in touch, and he's a dear friend. I mean, and of course he went through his time down, from while he dealt with some personal matters from AC/DC, and also, I mean, there's been a lot happened since we actually wrote together, but we've always stayed in touch. And I love him for so many reasons. He's a good friend. He's also a huge influence. He's everything you would expect the lead singer of AC/DC to be. He's just a great guy.
And then how was it working with your son?
Well, that equally is badass. I mean, how many, Eddie Van Halen got to do it with Wolfgang, and but I don't know, there's very few opportunities that you hear fathers and sons, making a full album together. So it's a big deal.
Absolutely. So for Never Gets Old, and I like the message for that. It's not only about, the way I understand it at least, it never gets old is about music, but it's also about people, right? We can still feel young as much as we want to, right?
Yeah.
As long as we want to.
Yeah. Hopefully this this music will get your blood pumping, and you'll be ready to take a big bite out of life's ass as well.
Yeah. What about the video? What was the idea to have the different logos and then to run this cool contest?
Yeah, it's really cool. We got the album is a tribute to everybody that used to camp out for concert tickets, and they would they camp out overnight, and then the store security would come and open up the door in the morning, and you would go through the mall back to the store where the Ticketron off, and you'd buy your tickets there. And so you made a commitment of a couple of days of your life sitting in front of a Rich's department store so that you could, be the first in line to get those front row tickets to ZZ Top or AC/DC or Ted Nugent or whoever, you were going to see, but Kiss. This album is dedicated to the spirit of that and the people that still love their music, regardless of whether they're young or old. And people, we're seeing more and more success in vinyl. A lot of younger people are buying vinyl, and that's what makes me feel good, because there's no way they cannot share that same experience that we used to have when you drop that needle and listen to the full album.
Yeah, and you have to hear actually the needle, how those small imperfections, right? Those make a difference. Damn it! Why did you choose to to pick "Breathing Fire" as the album title?
Well, the title track for the song is just, when you hear the song, you're gonna like. It's just a fun song, and it's just, it's about as damn rock and roll as you can imagine. It's really, really great as far as the attitude of it. I'm real proud of it. So it jumped out at me as a perfect title track for the album. And plus, since it's a solo album and I do sing with, I have a raspy voice. So it just, it seemed appropriate for the singing style of this record to call it Breathing Fire.
So you said you did the production, right?
Yes. Well, and Jeff Tomei, he recorded the Smashing Pumpkins' Siamese Dreams album. He recorded Matchbox 20's albums. He recorded Jerry Cantrell from Alice in Chains and Isaac Hayes and Corrosion of Conformity. And he's recorded a lot of people. And we're partners in a studio here and in Atlanta. And he happened to be up there whenever we ran up. He was like, "Whoa, what are you doing?" Because we just kind of went in and took over the studio and started moving his microphones around and everything. He was going, "What are you doing?" But I had a certain vision of how we wanted to capture this, and it really worked out great.
You have JACKYL, and JACKYL is on tour. Are you planning to play songs from Breathing Fire?
I'm not, if the guys in the band want to play them because they like them, then we can. If they don't want to play them, then that's fine too. The band JACKYL's got plenty of songs to play that we do. This album could have been recorded with JACKYL, but it wasn't. It was just it was something that's special that happened between me and my son and Roman, and then it was something that special happened between me and Roman and Brian Johnson from AC/DC. So that's something that you just don't look a gift horse in the mouth. And if JACKYL had recorded it, it would have sounded different. Still good. It would have been a great record, but I'm really proud that it sounds like it sounds, because I really went back and did it a very pure way. The drums and everything sound very natural. They're not overproduced. They and the guitar tones are not manufactured, or they're not. It just stock pickups from a 1972 SG in a 1962 reissue Les Paul, and through an amplifier with no preamp. It's just volume, and so that's not necessarily the way JACKYL does things, which is great. But I just wanted it to be a more pure sounding record.
So let me change my question and ask: have you thought about taking Breathing Fire on the road?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I'll definitely go do some dates with Nigel and Roman, and I may grab some other guest guys to play with us and stuff. But it's I can't not play these songs. I'm dying to get out and play them right now. Okay.
So as we wrap this up, we mentioned JACKYL, of course, and you celebrated the 30th anniversary with 30 Coming Hot. Should I ask, how does it feel? 30 years, 3 decades?
Well, the answer would be it never gets old.
Awesome, love it.
Yeah, I love it. I don't really stop long enough to think about it, because I'm afraid it will all disappear. If I stop and think about it, it may have just been a dream. So I'm going to keep swinging and not miss it.
Love it, love it. Last question. How is Full Throttle Saloon going after this unfaithful event with the fire and you had to relocate?
Yeah, we relocated about 7 years ago, and the new we were on 300, or we were on 35 acres before, 32 acres actually, and we're on 600 acres now.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have an Olympic-sized swimming pool. We have an all-you-can-eat breakfast buffet and dinner buffet, a convenience store, 300 cabins, 1,000 RV hookups. Harley Davidson put a big building out on the property. Top Coat put a big building on the property. Amsoil's out on the property. All these big major sponsors and stuff that provide services and such. And it's really an honor to be partners with Harley Davidson Motor Company and doing a lot of things with them. We have 3 racetracks. We have a runway on the back of the property where planes can take people up parachuting. We have the Full Throttle Saloon sets right on 50 acres of the 600. So it's like beyond Thunderdome, for everybody that loves beautiful women, a badass motorcycle, and a cold belly washer, which happens to be Jesse James Bourbon. So it's the Full Throttle is doing just fine.
Great to hear. And one bonus question. The Jesse James Dupree custom chainsaw has been sold out. Are there plans to bring it back?
Yeah, Anne-Marie, put a chainsaw back up on the website.
Did we
I'll get them. I'll sign one today and we'll put it up on the website. You in the market for a chainsaw? We'll put it up there.
Thank you very much. Jesse, thank you very much. Love the album. Can't wait to see and hear these songs live whenever that's possible. And we can check JACKYL when they are again at Arcata.
You know what I'll do is I should make a special bundle on jessejamesdupree.com where you can get the Breathing Fire album and an autographed chainsaw. Maybe that's the best bundle.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Great idea. Thank you very much. Have a great rest of your day.
I appreciate you. You have a great day, and everybody crank it up right here.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.